Hey gang, welcome back to Inverted Pursuits Laboratory. This week we are discussing a new rocket I am building. It's actually my first rocket that I'm going to try to take over Mach 1. It won't do that on some of its initial flights just because I want to make sure the electronics are working and just see how it rolls. So let's jump into Open Rocket and take a look at that. All right, now that we're here in Open Rocket, you can see the rocket is laid out. I have nose cone, forward section, rear section. I have an AV bay on this. It will be running my RRC3 here in the center. I need to make sure that that works, and I've got the approximate weight of the RRC3 and some other incidentals with battery and mounting hardware included in the weight here in the center. Some of these weights will have to be adjusted as we go because I tend to just tweak designs as we go. I'll also have a GPS in the nose cone, so there'll be a nose section bay that will pull some weight forward. I'll also have to add some of that into this mass because at the moment it's like 10 grams, and I think it'll actually be closer to like 50 grams by the time it's done, which gives me a much better stability of 1.5. And it's only this J270 is one of the things I'm looking to fly it on the first time around. It does put me to almost, it'll probably end up hitting about 6,500 feet, knowing just how launching in Argonia tends to work. And Mach 1, I guess I probably won't hit close to that. I'll get right up to the edge, but I would bet I won't go over. I'll actually be trying to use a J435, or I'll potentially go to an RMS motor rather than the DMS motor for flying this rocket. But for now, I'm doing everything on the assumption that I'm going to be using a DMS, and then I will adjust the weight later if I choose to fly RMS, because that will add more weight to the aft end. Not much, but some. So this rocket's been pretty well optimized to fly at Mach speeds. The fins are fairly minimalistic, and I will be doing a tip-to-tip layup on them and filming all of the process for doing that tip-to-tip. A lot of the things I'll film on this rocket will more be along the lines of, here's how I'm mounting this, here's some things I'm taking into consideration after talking with friends, because there's still some stuff I'm learning even from friends and fellow Rocketeers every time I post this content and every time I go to a launch. So like, if you got recommendations on what I'm doing here, if I'm doing something dumb, please let me know. This rocket development is probably going to be fairly slow. I would guess I'll probably launch it sometime in September, October as I build through it this summer, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on it. Some ways to go Mach. The entire rocket right now is being built out of fiberglass. I have a phenolic tip for the moment. I may change that to aluminum just to help with the heat, but I don't think it's necessary with only going Mach 1. The only reason I might change it to aluminum is to help shift my weight further forward, because that's a really easy way to shift the weight forward. But just going over some quick specs on the rocket. It varies depending on what I'm flying, between stability of like 1.56. I've tossed even an H219 in here, and has a stability of almost 2, which that's way overstable. But again, though that flight's not going to go very high, so I can take things like the GPS out, and I can pull the weight back. But even on the 270, still I'm at the 1.5, so the stability is pretty similar there. But this is the rocket, I call this Speed Queen. The goal is just to be my first rocket I punch over Mach. There's a good chance I will be making modifications to this along the way, where I may shrink the parachute bay and increase the one here at the back to potentially take a bigger motor. So I can do things like that, potentially take this down to like 9 inches and make this more like 21 inches, which it won't be exactly that because I have to deal with kerf, but gives me a little more space back here. Presently, I'm not going to fly a drogue chute on this rocket just because it is so small. It is a 54 millimeter rocket flying on a 38 millimeter motor, which is how I'm getting it to go so fast. But I'll just have a redundancy in my motor to blow the parachute, and I also have electronic deployed to blow the sections apart as my drogue, and then the main will deploy. I would guess probably around 1,000 feet is when I'll deploy my main. I might do 1,500 just to be on the safe side, but it is a 54 millimeter rocket. It is 42 inches long, and its max speed, if I fly it on the J435 I've been designing it for, will be Mach 1.17, which I believe that will punch me right to Mach 1 and probably around 6,500 feet by the time we take into account just Argonia and Missouri/Kansas, the Midwest weather here. But anyway, thanks for watching, gang. I hope you enjoyed just an insight into a rocket I have coming up. If you've got any recommendations for me, please let me know. This is my first time trying to build a rocket that's going to be going over Mach 1, and I would love to hear your experiences and anything you've learned from flying a rocket that fast. So thanks for watching, and have a great day, gang.